I am right now joined by Themmen, who is a dear friend of mine, but you probably know him as Mike Teevee from the original Willy Wonka, right?
That is right. I am Mike Teevee, or I was many, many years ago, about 54 years ago now.
Wow, okay, so you were, what, about 11 when you did that?
I was 11 then. You can do the math. I'm 65 now.
Okay, and you weren't just in Willy Wonka, you also were doing Broadway and all sorts of other acting at that time in your life, right?
Yes, mostly the thing that people know me for because of, the magic of film. It lasts, and especially in the case of a loved film like Willy Wonka, people still, for whatever reason, are still interested to hear about Willy Wonka, the Chocolate Factory. But I did do other things. I started when I was 6. I did commercials. The first commercial I was in, I had to say, "Crazy bubbles, bubble blowing, bubble bath," 3 times fast.
Okay.
But of course, if you've seen the film, you know that I said, "Crazy bubble, the bubble blowing, bubble bath," because I had a lisp, which was a real lisp. At the time. Anyway, I got that commercial. I did Broadway, 2 Broadway shows, and I got cast in New York City to be in Willy Wonka when I was 11.
And so you probably have some great stories from your experience shooting on Willy Wonka. Do you have any stories about Gene Wilder, or are you with the other kids, or anything like that?
No.
None? None whatsoever?
Nope, and cut. Okay, no, do I have any stories? I have lots of stories. When you're 11, you remember well enough what you've done. What do you want to know? Gene Wilder was a very nice guy. He was a little intense. He had those fierce blue eyes. He had a job to do. He was the star of the movie. I was 11. So
Right.
Our relationship was only so deep. But it was an amazing film to be in. We have some Wonka things here. They're still making pinball machines. They're making slot machines. They're making Netflix series. It has legs, as they say.
And your 11-year-old face and voice is still all over.
There
all
it
of
is. Yeah, I have a licensing deal for that. Thankfully. It was a great movie to be in as an 11-year-old. Every day you're in a set, which is basically like a Disneyland ride built just for you.
Right.
And while you're in that set, Harper Goff, who worked at Disney, is designing and building some other Wonka, mobile or fizzy lifting drinks or whatever they did. It was like being in a mad scientist's candy factory. I mean, it was amazing.
Right.
It was a really, really good movie to be in. Yeah.
And then to this day, you're still friends with a lot of the other cast members.
I'm very friendly with Veruca Salt. Not a sentence that many people say, unless they're talking about the band, maybe.
Right.
But yes, I'm very friendly with Julie, who played Veruca Salt. She's in England. She grew up to be like a psychotherapist. She helped people with grief and with hospice care and things like that. She still does. And let me see, Charlie, who is played by Peter Ostrom, grew up to be a large animal veterinarian, which I always felt like that's a really nice job for Charlie to have. He's a vet, right? He deals with farm animals and that kind of stuff.
Very sweet.
Violet sadly passed, several years ago. Her name was Denise Nickerson. She worked at SpaceX as an accountant. Michael Bullner, who played Augustus Gloop, learned his lines by rote there in Munich, Germany, those many years ago. He didn't speak any English. He lived in Munich, and he still lives in Munich. And he also has an accountancy firm, and he's very funny. Michael speaks good English now, and he'll say things like, people will ask him how the river was, and he'll say, "Oh, it was dirty, cold, stinking water," like that kind of thing.
Right.
Did I get us all? I think that's 5.
Yeah,
right? And then
I think so. And then you.
Yeah.
And what did you grow up to be?
I grew up to be many, many things, actually. I'm like, there's no short answer. So I was a real estate broker. I was in film production, working behind the scenes. I did casting for a little while. I was at Walt Disney Imagineering, where they design and build the theme parks. I was a financial advisor for 6 years. I've traveled around the world. I've been to 77 countries around the world on 6 continents, traveling with a backpack and seeing the world and experiencing the world.
And you have something called Wonka Shop. Can you talk a little bit about that?
Wonka Shop is something that I've done also as an adult. I resisted it for a long time. For many years, I thought maybe I'll be an actor. Continue, because I really stopped after college.
Okay.
Right? maybe I'll continue to be an actor as an adult. And what I should do then is maybe not go to Comic-Cons and hawk my signature for cash.
Right.
And when I got to be about 50 or whatever 1997 is, okay? So 45, let's say, I was like, you know what? I'm leaning into this. And I started doing conventions and signing autographs and that stuff. Anyway, I have this website called Wonka Shop, and it's wonkashop.com. You can go on there. You'll find things that I have signed, signatures from the other Wonka kids, and Everlasting Gobstoppers, a bunch of different cool stuff.
And you should definitely go and check that out, because I have one of the contracts from the movie, the contract that you all signed in the movie with Gene Wilder's character.
Yes. If it's not becoming clear, Jaclyn and I were friends before today.
Yes.
So I gave you that contract at one point, and it's cool.
It hangs in my craft room.